Hey folks, Garrett Fisher here. I need to tell you about this absolutely mind-blowing podcast, Acting President, that's been keeping me up at night. It's about James Bennett, a former governor starring in a hit Sunday night TV show about overthrowing the government, and then his actual former chief of staff approaches him to do it for real. The line between fiction and reality completely disappears when these course correction rallies start popping up everywhere. Is it brilliant marketing or something more sinister? The parallels are insane. Trust me, this is the political thriller you didn't know you needed in your life. Acting President, available now wherever you find podcasts.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked number 1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and number 2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where is everyone? This is Ballot.
They were all off protesting. Let's hit this. Hi, I'm Patrick Gutfield, and anti-Trump protests swept the nation on Saturday, with demonstrators gathering in cities from coast to coast under the banner No Kings. 2,000 events across all 50 states. The protests were sparked by Trump's immigration crackdown, federal spending cuts, and his military parade in Washington that coincided with his 79th birthday. Trump celebrated turning 79 with a military parade, which is either the most dictator thing ever or the most dad thing ever. Honey, for my birthday, I want tanks and fighter jets. Donald, we talked about this. In Los Angeles, things got spicy when police declared an unlawful assembly near federal buildings. The LAPD accused protesters of throwing concrete rocks, bottles, and fireworks at officers. Fireworks at a protest? What is this? A gender reveal party for democracy? Police responded with tear gas and mounted officers. There's something deeply American about protesting authoritarianism only to get charged by cops on horseback. We've come full circle to the Revolutionary War, except now the British are us. Meanwhile, in Austin, Texas, police detained a counter-protester who was yelling, "Ice, ice baby," at demonstrators. Imagine being the guy whose contribution to political discourse is turning a Vanilla Ice song into immigration policy. That's like protesting climate change by singing Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid. In Portland, and of course Portland was involved, police declared the area around the ICE facility a riot zone after protesters smashed windows. Portland protesters breaking windows at a federal building is like saying water is wet or that airline food is disappointing. It's just what they do. The Seattle Police Department reported that tens of thousands showed up for their protest, spanning more than 1.5 miles of roadway with not a single report of property damage. Seattle managed to have a completely peaceful massive protest, which must have been deeply confusing for everyone involved. Wait, we're supposed to just walk around and chant? That's it? Some protesters shared their motivations in interviews. Vinnie Walsh, 82, from Auburn, Massachusetts, cited the loss of decency, courtesy, compassion, democracy. Basically everything except good parking spots and reasonably priced movie theater snacks. Dr. Lori Carpinetti from Atlanta said she was motivated by Trump appointing Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as his top health official. Having RFK Jr. in charge of health policy is like hiring a flat earther to run NASA. The protests were organized by over 200 groups, including the ACLU and something called 50501. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like either a progressive advocacy group or my credit score after I bought that timeshare. Downtown Los Angeles fell under an 8 p.m. curfew, which the city attorney reminded everyone would be strictly enforced. Nothing says land of the free, like everyone having to be home by 8 o'clock, like they're in middle school. And in a plot twist that reads like a rejected Netflix thriller, Texas authorities arrested someone in La Grange for making a credible threat against state lawmakers attending the Austin protest. La Grange, Texas, where apparently people go to plan their political intimidation strategies. It's halfway between Austin and Houston, which makes it the perfect location for absolutely nothing important. So there you have it. 2,000 protests, countless arrests, tear gas, mounted police, and one very confused counter-protester who thought Vanilla Ice lyrics were a peak political commentary. Just another Saturday in America, where exercising your constitutional rights might get you a face full of pepper spray and a curfew violation.
What happens when one of the most powerful men in music is accused of some of the most serious crimes imaginable? Check out the new podcast, Diddy, Did He Do It? Following the federal sex crimes trial of Sean Diddy Combs, coming to you straight from New York City. Every day I'll take you inside the courtroom where prosecutors say Combs ran a criminal enterprise of sex trafficking, coercion, and abuse, using his fame, fortune, and influence to silence victims and control lives. We'll cover the big stories and the small moments that can shift the verdict. The trial has begun. The questions are piling up, and every day we'll be asking the same thing. Did he do it? Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, President Trump celebrated his 79th birthday on Saturday by throwing himself the world's most expensive military parade. And yes, I said himself, because while this was officially for the Army's 250th anniversary, let's be honest, this had all the subtlety of a child's birthday party where the birthday boy insists on being the center of attention. The parade featured tanks, helicopters, robot dogs, and 6,700 soldiers marching down Constitution Avenue. Robot dogs. Because nothing says happy birthday to the Army like having mechanical pets that can dispose of explosives. These things walk at 2 miles per hour, which is actually faster than most parade attendees were leaving by the end. Trump sat in his reviewing stand for over 3 hours watching armored vehicles and World War II bombers shake downtown Washington. The city was locked down with 18 miles of anti-scale fencing, because apparently when you're celebrating American freedom, you need to make sure nobody can actually move around freely. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was there watching alongside Trump, probably thinking, this is what I left Fox News for? Meanwhile, Vice President J.D. Vance showed up with his family, because nothing says quality family time like watching tanks roll by on a Saturday. The whole thing was produced by Event Strategies, Inc., the same company that handled Trump's campaign rallies. So basically, they took the spectacle of professional wrestling and added actual weapons. Brilliant. Fox News treated it like Christmas morning with Lawrence Jones gushing about the energy and everyone chanting USA. CNN carried it live, and MSNBC stuck with their regular programming, which was basically their way of saying, we're not falling for this again. The funniest part? This was supposed to be one of Trump's shortest speeches ever. Apparently, even he got bored watching himself celebrate himself. He did manage to work in his new catchphrase about America being the hottest country in the world right now, which sounds less like foreign policy and more like he's trying to get us a modeling contract. Lee Greenwood showed up to sing God Bless the USA and threw in a Happy Birthday, Mr. President between verses, because why have dignity when you can have a sing-along? And now I'm starting a Marilyn Monroe-type rumor. The weather forecast called for an 80% chance of rain, which was actually lower than the chance this whole thing was really about Trump's ego. And protesters gathered around the city with signs reading, Trump must go now, and no kings, because apparently some people think military parades are better suited for dictatorships than democracies. Portions of today's show were made with the help of AI, which the robot dogs probably would like.
When the world's most powerful people go to war, we can't look away. Welcome to Feuds, Power, Pride, and Payback, the podcast tracking the explosive conflicts shaping our world right now. Presidential administrations fracturing, tech billionaires threatening government leaders, entertainment titans destroying partnerships with single social media posts. These aren't just headlines. They're windows into how power really works. We deliver daily episodes when news explodes, weekly deep dives for perspective. From Washington power struggles to Silicon Valley vendettas, we decode the psychology behind the drama. and reveal why these feuds matter far beyond entertainment. Feuds, power, pride, and payback. Today's conflicts are tomorrow's history. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
He thought cryptocurrency would set him free. Instead, it made him a target. Alessandro Romano flew to New York for a business meeting with his former partner. What he found was an elaborate trap. A luxury apartment turned torture chamber, where digital dreams become real-world nightmares. For 8 days, he endured unimaginable torture. His captors wanted his Bitcoin passwords. They had police protection. They had done this before. This is the true story of friendship turned to betrayal, innovation turned to exploitation, and one man's fight for survival against a system designed to break him. Crypto Kidnap. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.